So I guess I did all right with last week's picks. Definitely nothing to write home about finishing 8-6. I just can't believe that the Panthers lost, even with Derek Anderson starting. I can't believe they lost to the Buccaneers on Monday night. Oh, now wasn't that a brutal game? Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, so 8-6 last week, sitting at 47-30 for the season to this point. Probably my best pick of last week was, I guess you would classify it as my quasi upset special, Tennessee over the Dolphins. That one came to fruition. Now, see, I've got an upset special this week too. Let's see if this one comes to fruition. But anyways, in terms of week 6, I've already started off on the schneid with the Broncos looking terrible against the Chargers last night. Oh, good grief. So 0-1 to start the week. Let's hope I can do well with the rest of the picks for the week. So let's just dive right in. You can check out my picks in the description box. And as always, you're welcome to pick along with me in the comments section. The early Sunday games. The Buffalo Bills right now at 3-2. You know, they find a way to win Sunday against the 49ers, who will be starting Kaepernick. Yeah, take the Bills a little more seriously, I guess, at 4-2, especially for a team that started off 0-2 and didn't look very good doing so. You know, they've responded to the offensive coordinator being fired by winning 3 consecutive games. You know, this Bills team is starting to get in a position where maybe they're starting to believe in themselves a little bit. I don't know how seriously we should take them yet, but probably seriously enough to move to 4-2 and beat the 49ers on Sunday. Um, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Chicago to beat the Bears. The Bears have really struggled to win at Soldier Field under John Fox. The Bears, again, didn't look very good in their matchup against the Colts last Sunday. However, I will say this team just has a little bit of a different vibe and a better vibe surrounding it with Brian Hoyer as the starting quarterback than Jay Cutler. This team cannot seriously determine that Jay Cutler is the better option at this point and clearly has no option but to stick with Brian Hoyer for the future of the rest of this season. But in the meantime, I think the Jaguars have more to play for at this point, coming off of a divisional victory in London 2 weeks ago against the Colts. They're rested, they're ready to go, and I'd expect the Jaguars to be able to find a way to win over the Bears in Soldier Field on Sunday. I'll take the Lions to beat the Rams at Ford Field. I will take the Steelers to beat the Dolphins on the road, even though, again, this is one of these dangerous games for the Steelers. Like I always talk about every year, it seems like with this team, the bad teams on the road are the games that the Steelers really struggle with. But maybe there's something a little different about the Steelers team this year, and they're not going to struggle with these type of teams as much. I'll take the Patriots to beat the Bengals, which would send the Bengals to 2-4. The Bengals really, really need this game. The Patriots, it's nice to have, but it's not a requirement. The Bengals really, really need this game, especially with how bad they look Sunday on the road in Dallas against the Cowboys. But I just don't think they're going to be able to match up with the Patriots, and I'll take them to beat the Bengals. As Bill Belichick would say, it's on to Cincinnati. Carolina should get Cam Newton back in the fold. There were some good things that came out of the game on Monday night. In particular, Cameron Artis-Payne had a nice performance. Greg Olsen put up some monster numbers. I wonder if this is going to be the game where Cam Newton shows some of that old MVP form for last year, and he explodes against a bad Saints defense, even on the road. The Panthers are in must-win mode. You go to 1-5, your season is cooked. At 2-4, you still have some hope. And the Panthers at this moment in time have to look at it at 1 week at a time. And even with the bad start that they've had, they're still a better team than the Saints, so I'll take the Panthers to win on Sunday. I'll take the Giants to beat the Ravens. I will take the Eagles on the road to beat the Redskins in the afternoon games. I'll take the first place in the AFC West Oakland Raiders to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the black hole. Imagine that. The Raiders win on Sunday. They're 5-1 and standing all alone in first place in the AFC West. How about that? I will take the Packers to beat the Cowboys in Lambeau Field in what should be an interesting matchup. Another really interesting matchup. Actually, all 3 of those afternoon games look really good. KC in Oakland. You've got Dallas at Green Bay. And then you've got Atlanta coming off of a road victory over the Broncos, going to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. You know, the Seahawks are going to be hopefully well rested coming off of their bye week. Atlanta has a lot of momentum right now with the guy who I think is the leader in the clubhouse as the NFL MVP and Matt Ryan. But I think the Seahawks are still a better team, and I think they will prove it on Sunday afternoon. The Sunday night game, you've got an AFC South diarrhea matchup between the Colts and the Texans. This division is really god-awful. Really god-awful. And it would be easy just to sit there and pick the Texans because you're like, the Colts can't stop anybody. They couldn't even stop the Bears on Sunday, and that's true. But it's not exactly like the Houston Texans under Brock Osweiler have been lighting the world off fire offensively, and they're coming off of a bad, embarrassing loss to the Vikings last Sunday. With that said, I still think the Texans have more balance as a team. They have more defense. I'll take the Texans at home to beat the Colts on Sunday night. And then the Monday night game, I don't think this requires much thought. Even at 2-3, the Cardinals are the easy choice here to beat the Jets. The Jets are smarting right now. They look bad. Eric Decker's out for the year. Fitzpatrick's been terrible. While the Cardinals are out of rhythm and out of sorts in a way, with the victory last Thursday night over the 49ers combined with this game against the Jets, this is really a nice 2-week stretch for the Cardinals to really find themselves and get themselves back to 500 and get themselves feeling good about the last 10 games of the season. So there's my picks for this week. Again, I'll put them in the description box below, and you're welcome to give me your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Yeah.